had worked with a particular person in 2021. I was in a relationship, but he was really into me. He used to always call me, always be like this. He was in a relationship as well. He was like a bit obsessed with me or whatever, but he wasn't in one relationship. He was in like 5, 6 different girls. He's a player like in Dubai.
Yeah, we can have sex on Saturday.
Shut up, man.
Have fun. See you soon, gorgeous. You owe me dick, by the way.
Coming to give it to you. Wait there.
I'm waiting. But let's aim for not going back, though.
You never left.
No, babe, you never left.
Nah, I'm getting you pregnant.
Might as well.
Not looking after it, though.
What could go wrong except everything?
The sexual truth that men don't realize are a dirty little secret. Gentlemen, it's amazing that for many of you guys out there, you think when you first meet her that she's innocent. For many of you guys out here, you think she only wants this thing called commitment. And not only commitment, but she wants to have long, drawn out, boring talks with you. You think that she says she wants a ring on her finger. And gentlemen, for many of you guys out here, that is a lie. Society wants you to smoke in your pipe and plug into your veins and make you actually think that this is actually her truth. But what people don't understand about women is that all women have a dirty little secret. And there is a side of every woman on the face of this planet who masturbates. There's a side that she hides from a certain kind of person. And that's what we want to talk about today. We need to really dive deep into this because most guys have the wrong impression of a woman. They will sit around and read her profile. They'll read her profile, they'll swipe, and then they'll read her dating app of all the lies and BS. And it is amazing that we just don't game this out. Remember, guys, I am the only one that has said this. And I want you to game it out, and I actually want you to think about it. When is the last time, and I think about it, when is the last time you think a woman masturbated to a guy rowing a boat? When is the last time that he's rowing a boat and she's turning her umbrella? When's the last time that a woman played with herself with a guy putting a shirt over a puddle? They don't. But even before we even get into this, guys, I want to let you know I am Steve the Dean Williams. I want to welcome each and every one here. I've been doing videos and YouTubing and teaching the guys the game for over 3 decades. And I hope that you can enjoy this interaction. I appreciate each and every one of you guys to soak this up because most people don't want to know this, and women don't want you to know this. Women don't want you to know this, gentlemen. Okay? But the thing is, most of you guys will never, ever see a certain side of the woman that all of them have. And a lot of guys who are good that get sucked up to the game that women try to portray, that they are holier than thou, they're good, they're prim, they're proper, and all these lies that they sit around and say, oh, I'm a good girl, and I've got class, and I would never, and I'm not the kind of girl, and you got to be the kind of man. I just don't give myself away, and I don't do all of this stuff. Gentlemen, come on, man, let's talk about it. Most you guys will never see it. And this is why most you guys are always going to be confused. This is why most you guys are always going to be what? Frustrated because of what I'm saying. And the secret, gentlemen, is very simple. All right? Very simple. Women out here lie about this thing they're looking for called love. And I want you to gain this out, and I just want you to think this through and see why women are not actually looking for love. Gentlemen, let's be honest, and let's gain this out. Traffic. In order for a woman to actually look for love, gentlemen, wouldn't one say that she would have to experience love from somebody? So how could she actually look for love? All right. Oh, we're good. Hold on, let me come back here. So what I'm saying to you guys, and I want you guys to think about this. Think this out, game this out. If every guy that a woman has been around with is average, he doesn't believe in himself, he has fears, anxieties, he has low self-worth, low self-esteem, he validates women, he runs behind women, he kisses their asses. How can a woman even know what love is? And that's the kicker and the catch, gentlemen. To them, love is a fairy tale that Walt Disney created, that these bubbles that they live in, they think that they want this guy in a white horse to come and save them. They have, gentlemen, write this down, they have an interpretation of what they think love is, but they don't know what love is. And that's what we're going to be discussing today, because women don't want love because they don't know what love is. But deep, deep down between her legs, she wants desire, red light. And what do I mean by desire? What I mean by desire, guys, is there are a lot of women out here that are going to say that they want certain things. And when you guys fall into the okie doke of what women are saying, come on, I can't take it there, man. Hold on, we got to keep driving. Put it back here. So what I'm saying to you guys out here, y'all got to game this out. And when I say game this out, I want you to take a moment and think through all this stuff. Because she doesn't want comfort. She wants chaos. She doesn't want a good person. She wants somebody that's cold enough, doesn't care enough to unlock a door that becomes the forbidden fruit. There's a side of her that screams over a guy that just doesn't care. And this is why I keep always telling all you guys out here, it's a rule of the game. And before I even break this thing down, I need you guys to actually hear this. Because most of you guys, and I said this the other night on the show, and it's very important that you understand this if you don't write this down. This is the most important thing that I need you to write down from the video. If you don't do anything, please write this down, plug this in, and smoke this in your pipe. It's very important. And that is, she doesn't remember your words, gentlemen. She always is going to remember how her body responds to what you say to them. That's it. That is the key to all of this. And that is a rule of the game that unlocks that dirty, nasty side of her, where she knows that she can be dirty right now with you, come play with herself, clean herself back up, and go into the real world and pretend that she's holier than thou, that she's a good woman, she's prim and proper, and all these things that they always say to her. I want you to think this out. Gentlemen, you can spit clever lines through them. You can say, rehearse things, like I said, even in the show. But if her body doesn't feel it, if her stomach doesn't get butterflies, she is not going to see you as somebody that she can talk dirty to, be dirty with. Because in her mind, let's game this out, in her mind, that if she does talk to a guy that's insecure and she starts to talk dirty, the insecure person is going to run because he's going to think she's aggressive. She's not going to do that to the desperate guy, because if she has a little flirtation or talks a little dirty, he's going to assume that he can send a dick pic or something like that. So women are very cautious when it comes to what I'm talking about. And this is why it's important that, like I say, I want you guys to take a moment and think about this. And like I said, game this through. But we're at a stoplight, so let me pause for a cause. But what I'm saying to you guys out here, this is why the game is so important. Guys, many people assume that women out here actually are innocent. They don't realize women masturbate all the time. They touch themselves. Oh, green light. Anyway. So they touch themselves, masturbate, and do all this stuff. And most guys don't even game this out because they will talk to interesting people. If you are interesting, they will have a conversation with you. If you are interesting and you could talk about politics and you could talk about interesting things, but where most guys go wrong is that they are obsessed with more of a performance of trying to impress a woman by talking about trivia and things that have nothing to do with the warmth and the way she wants to touch herself, masturbate, and play with herself when she's with a guy. Okay, we're at another red light. So what a lot of guys are going to do, gentlemen, is that they're going to sit around and walk on eggshells because there's in their mind they're saying, I read her profile and the profile says that she's innocent. Green light. Sorry, gotta go back. So I read her profile. She said she was innocent. So because she's innocent, I know in order to win her over, to win her love, and to win her, even though I want her to spread her butt cheeks open, I'm going to have clever stories, and I'm going to show her my intellectual side, and I'm going to do and say anything I can to be liked, and I'm going to do and say anything I can to be approved. And what they're going to do, unfortunately, is they're going to make moves to appear worthy. But all of this is from the surface, and she will smile at certain things that you're going to say, and she will nod, and she will thank you for the conversations, but she is going to go home and open her phone up, and she is going to do one or two things. She's going to open her phone up and text that asshole, that jerk that she wants to play with herself with, or she's going to go look at the porn to get herself off, bust a nut, and go to sleep. When I'm saying you guys out here, most of you guys have the biggest problem because, again, y'all are a little nervous about creating sexual tension. Sexual tension is a good thing, but you have to learn how to game this out. I understand for many guys out there, we all are coming up on a red light, but a lot of you guys are afraid. Oh, it turned green. A lot of you guys are afraid of the dirty little secret that I'm talking about. She is not a piece of china. She has cravings. She has desires. She has wants and things that turn her off, and there are things that make her hot, horny, and bothered, gentlemen. But the thing is, for many of you guys, as long as you are hiding your intent on what you want from a woman, what you're doing is actually you're making her feel safe. Because the person that's going to make her feel safe is the one that's not going to unlock the desire. It is the man that's going to make her feel alive. Because most of you guys, unfortunately, sit around and try to ask a bunch of boring questions. Boring questions are interesting, but they don't create desire. And that is why she placed them in a friend zone. Because when you're talking crazy, talking that yak to a woman, you can have all kind of nasty conversations. And they're going to love the dirty banter of you talking about what you're going to do with your Johnson and how she's going to take it and where you're going to suck it and how you're going to eat it. And they cream over this. But gentlemen, what you have to understand, you cannot come off that way. All these things I'm talking about are things that are going to be unlockable. But you cannot unlock the side of a woman if she recognizes that you're nervous, that you have fears, that you have worries, that you have desperation or thirst. You're going to make her clam up. But the man that has the game is actually going to unlock those unlockables. And that's a beautiful thing. Let me just pause under the shade and explain what I'm talking about real quick before we move on. Gentlemen, the beautiful thing about the game is that at the end of the day, I'm never trying to run behind a woman. I want to show her the value of who I am, what I am, and how I operate. And gentlemen, I'm saying for you guys, when you move this way, you operate and you believe in yourself, you're not going to run behind the woman, but you're not going to put yourself in a position to have a boring conversation. As long as you don't have a boring conversation, conversation can, and it's good for interest. But remember, conversation is not going to make her body feel anything. Her body's got to feel a desire, a want, or a passion. If she can feel that, you're good to go. So let's get back here where I'm saying. So what I'm saying to many of you guys out here, the way that you got to look at this thing is I'm never going to be the guy to audition for her to find some kind of interest in me. I don't care about being understood. The only thing that I want to do is I want to leave her with some type of a feeling. Remember, guys, I've always said this. Even back in the day from the 1900s. I've always said that it's not what I am when I'm with you. It's what you think about me when I'm gone based off of the impact. If I impact you enough, you're going to think about me in the aftermath of our conversations. And not only the aftermath of our conversations, you're going to think about me all day and wonder what I'm doing. Because when you have this game, gentlemen, you are going to be different. Your conversations, your text messages, and everything that you are going to be different because you are going to speak with weight, okay? You are going to allow the thing to breathe. For all you wine aficionados, sometimes y'all say you got to let the wine breathe. You got to let her coochie breathe just as well. If you can allow her to breathe and allow her to feel, that you change up the game. But what I'm saying to you guys out here, where a lot of guys go wrong, is they try to be interesting. And then from trying to be interesting, they go wrong because at that point, they think that when a woman is having an interesting conversation, which isn't a bad thing, we're at a red light. An interesting conversation is not a bad thing. Well, I think I'm really liking to. An interesting conversation is not a bad thing, but it's not going to spark desire. So let me explain what happens, gentlemen. When you have an interesting conversation with a woman, she's going to enjoy the conversation. Oh, she's going to love it. And she's going to smile and have an interesting conversation, smile and things like that. But that is not going to lead to a gateway to talk about sex, send her a dick pic, and ask her to come back to your place. Because she's going to get turned off and she's going to feel like, you know what? Who do you think I am? What kind of a person do you think I am? Because we're having an interesting conversation. But when you turn around and think something else and not try to force her to cross the line, what I'm showing to her, and check this out, I'm not trying to show her or force her to cross that line with me. One thing I'm doing that most guys don't understand in this game is that I'm showing her that there is a door and there is a line that exists. Listen to what I'm saying. It's very important to listen to what I'm saying to me. You have to make sure that you show her that there is a line that actually exists. So in order to do this the right way, gentlemen, it's very important. You can't force a woman to actually cross the line. I think that's the problem most guys have. So what you have to do when you have this game down, you don't force the woman to cross the line. Basically, what you do in the game is you just got to show her that there is a line that actually exists. That means there's a door that you can come into live the conversations that we're going to have. And I think that's where a lot of guys go wrong. Most guys don't understand that you've got to show her that, okay? And but you got to also show her that, you know what? I have no problem with you taking your time figuring out and letting me know when you want to cross that line, okay? But what I'm saying is that's where the game comes, and that's where the free will, and that's how we actually talk to them at every game. Because I want her to realize that the line exists, and she could cross it whenever she chooses to cross it, but she doesn't have to. We're coming up on a red light, excuse me, a second. And that's the freedom that a lot of guys are going to give women. Oh, got a green light. That's the freedom a lot of guys are going to give women. Most guys don't realize that you can give women that kind of freedom. And most guys don't realize that as long as she can cross it, she can cross it. Okay, got to keep going. But what I'm saying is that she could cross that line, and here's the beautiful thing that she needs to go. Crossing that line means there's no judgment. But where a lot of guys go wrong in all of this is that they simply judge the woman automatically and assume that she is a whore and a slut, and I'm going to treat her that way by either talking down to her and making demands of her that is going to turn her off based off of an interesting conversation. And that's where a lot of guys go wrong. I'm saying at the end of the day, man, I'm never going to judge her. I'm going to show her that I'm going to appreciate the time that we have and the interactions that we have. But also, if her and I get together, nobody's ever going to know what we're doing behind closed doors. And I'm going to make it very clear to her that guess what? She can do what she wants, okay? Because I'm not looking at her through a lens of what I think she is. I'm going to see her from what she doesn't even know she is to herself. And that is why, at the end of the day, this is why creating desire versus being interesting is the thing that most guys have to understand. Most guys out here actually think that if I keep the conversation going, that I'm a woman. But as a man, one call, one mind, one way. If I can make the body answer the question, that's what I'm saying. I want her body to answer the question by a reaction. But I'm never trying to entertain the woman, and I'm never trying to entertain her mind. What I'm doing is saying, I am the guy that's going to be what? You're awakening. I am going to awaken your body. I am not going to say anything to make you feel like I'm running behind you. I'm just saying I know your body has not been awake, by an average guy that has interesting conversations. I am not going to talk about your hobbies. I'm not going to talk about your job. I'm not going to talk about your aspirations. I'm not going to talk about what you're looking for. And the reason why I won't do that is because I know I'm the guy you're actually looking for. So why would I tell you or ask you what you're looking for? But this is why you guys understand. The world is always going to hide the secret from many guys because society wants you to believe in this thing that women are just innocent pieces of China. Okay? Because they don't want you to know the truth. Because, see, most of you guys have sex in your mind so much after tapering you down. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have sex. It's just how you go about doing it by shifting the narrative. You can't have a friendly conversation with a woman, then ask her to come back to the place. You can't have conversations about politics and then want to sit her and dick you. It doesn't work like this. And the industry has to have you guys shoot out your money through dating apps and things like that, or in the cycle of things that you have to do to learn how to do what? How to impress women, how to impress women. So the secret of all this stuff is always going to stay hidden because the world is not going to let you know how bad women are. But gentlemen, let me tell you, I am the gift to her. Yes, I said it. And here is the real dirty little secret. When a woman finally gets to meet a man that doesn't judge her and doesn't look down at her, doesn't see her as some fragile piece of shine, he is going to move totally different. And guys, remember, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. Meaning that 2 people can say the exact same thing and get a different result based off of the 2 things that I'm saying to you guys. Well, Beverly, if I'm having an interesting conversation and I talk about her body, then she is going to get turned off. What if I'm unlocking face in her body and bring up her body? She's going to laugh. She's going to plus. She's going to say, oh, you're crazy. Oh, my God. I like how you're talking to me. That's how it works, okay? And when you are that guy, as long as you're having those innocent conversations, she's going to hold that good girl image because she doesn't want you to think she's anything less than the good girl you made her out to be. And I'm not saying she's a bad person. It's okay for her to be nasty and dirty and filthy and naughty. Hey, guys, all that is okay. I'm never saying that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is bad is how you go about doing it. You're not gaming this out. I do not need to be interesting, and I don't need to do it, say anything. I just want to let her know at the end of the day, I'm going to give you the freedom to allow your body to betray your mind. I'm going to allow your body to betray your beliefs, your morals, your judgments, and everything you find happy and peaceful in this world. I'm going to allow your body to betray you. See what I'm saying, guys? That's how deep it is. I'm going to get that. I'm going to keep that line there and have that door open. And I want her to know And it is okay. You can betray the good girl that you think you are. You can betray your morals, your values, your standards, and all that BS that you have on the surface. Betray it because you do it every night when you're by yourself, so you can do it with me. And I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to accept you for what you are. That's how the game is. Remember, guys, at the end of the day, gentlemen, she is never going to remember your boring, interesting words. She is always going to remember how her body is actually going to react to you. So stop trying to impress her. Stop trying to prove that you're a good man. Stop giving her 100 of those compliments and all that other stuff. You're not creating sexual tension. Sexual tension is created when you give her an opportunity to realize there is a door that you can cross when you're ready to cross it. But I'm not going to push you there. But my main goal, if there is a goal, is not to manipulate you to betray yourself, but to let you know it's okay that you can betray yourself. It is okay that you can betray that good girl image you want to show the world. It is okay to betray the person that you want the guy to see you as a good, upstanding girl that feeds the homeless, and you will save the platypus, ducks, and all that other stuff. And you walk around saying hi and waving and all that other stuff. I want you to know that when you're with me, you can betray those things. Listen, gentlemen, I'm saying that it's okay. You can betray that good girl image, bust enough with me, feel good about that nut, and then later on go back. And nobody will ever know what we were. Nobody will ever know how nasty and filthy and dirty you are. Nobody will ever know. It'll be our little secret. You can talk about all the nasty things, and you can betray yourself. And understand, in that betrayal, I am not going to say you're a bad person and you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm going to let you know how nasty and dirty and filthy you were and how sexy you were in that moment. But gentlemen, remember, you cannot do that if you're doing it wrong. And guys, that's why I always say to you guys out here, well, many of you guys, I do want to say thank you, and I hope you enjoyed all of this. And guys, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. But gentlemen, at the end of the day, what is so important in the game is that never force a woman to cross that line. Make her body feel safe enough and comfortable enough to betray her values, her morals, and her judgments. Because she knows with you, you will accept her for the good girl that she is, and that nasty, slutty, horse type behavior she can display without making her feel like a whore and a slut and nasty. If you have an innocent conversation with a woman and then you want to have sex with her, you are going ahead and placing a judgment on a woman, and that's going to turn her off. So I want y'all guys to soak up this game, and always remember, guys, allow her to betray herself. Don't force her to betray herself. Remember, from the surface, she has values, a belief, morals, judgments, all these things. They value, I'm a good girl, and she's not lying from that part. She's not lying from that standpoint. But allow her the wiggle room to feel safe enough to betray herself just with you. Clean herself back up and go back out into that world and be that nice, innocent, prim, and proper woman that you and I both know that she isn't. Only we know the secret. Most don't know that, and I'm letting you know the game. So from this point on, gentlemen, no more interesting conversations and trying to make it about sex. Always remember, guys, if you're talking about political things, her interests, and everything like that, you cannot ask for sex. She's going to feel disrespected, and she's not going to mess with you. But if you're the guy and you can draw out the behaviors in her body to let her body know and her emotions know that, hey, you can betray yourself with me. And I won't say a word. What happens between us is going to stay between us. And you can be as nasty and dirty as you want. And when you and I are done, you can go out to the outside world and act like Mother Teresa. I am not going to say one word at all, gentlemen. Come on, get this game, gentlemen. Guys, if you like this video, you'll love the next video that you see right here. Gentlemen, I appreciate all you guys out here. I am proud of you guys. Keep pushing forward. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. Remember, guys, get her to betray herself. Never force the betrayal that she'll have or she'll never forgive him. Guys, we will definitely talk soon. Soak up this game. I'll see you later.